understand the disadvantages. Taylor's been there, done that. She's, what's your first year at Southern? So she's gone all the way through the high school thing, and she knows what it's like. She's a fairly smart student in middle school. But she's fairly smart, yeah, she's higher than the average. But she also didn't get a free ride either. She had to work hard to get what she got, so she knows where it's at. Mr. Turner and I, we've been to college, we've been to high school, but it's been years since we've been as a student. And behind Taylor on the board is what the people who give the ACT test, that's what they would recommend. That's what colleges expect as far as the kinds of classes. That hasn't changed since Mr. Turner and I have done on school, really. But the rigor of it may have. We never had to worry about computer courses and things like that.
Brian Brownell, please come to the office with your things to leave. Brian Brownell, please come to the office.
But a lot of things have changed. Some stress levels have changed. Economic levels of you guys have changed. When Mr. Turner and I were going to school, pretty much everybody had a mom at home when we got home. We had somebody at home with us. And Dad was away at work, but Mom could stay and help with the homework. Mom went to school. She knew her homework. You know, some of that stuff doesn't exist. So it can be a little harder for you guys. So instead of us telling you what it's like, we're just going to let a student that's been there, done that recently tell you what it's like. So I'm going to turn it over to Kay at this point.
All right. Like Mr. Baker said, my name's Taylor. I'm in my first year at Missouri Southern State University. That's the college right up by the mall in Joplin. I didn't leave home. I am majoring in mass communication with an emphasis in print media, which means that I'm going to school basically to be a journalist, to be a reporter, you know, somewhere in the field of media. I, as a freshman, am the associate editor of The Chart, which is the newspaper on campus. I am a member of Alpha Sigma Alpha sorority. I know that sounds weird. Yes, there are sororities in Missouri Southern. It's not like there aren't housing there, but there are sororities there. And that's a good way to get involved on campus. I'm involved with the student government. I'll tell you guys a little bit about where I got here. I started out here where you guys did. I went to East Morrill Elementary School. I went to East now, but it was South Middle School, fairly older building. I had all the same teachers you guys do. I had Mr. Turner, I had Mr. Biggers, I had Mr. Wallace, I had Mrs. Mintz, I had Mrs. Yonkers. So listen up this last semester that you have with them, guys, because they really are smart and they really do know what's going on. And they really are just trying to prepare you for high school, which is completely different than every expectation that you think it's going to be, I promise. So listen up while you're here. When I was in high school, my freshman year, I was a cheerleader. I enrolled in journalism out of nowhere. And that's something weird too. This is where I found my passion, and I didn't even start in middle school. I wasn't in Mr. Turner's journalism club, but it was because I was in show choir, and I don't know if it is now, but back then it was on Wednesday nights, which is the same time that we did show choir. So I didn't do journalism with Mr. Turner. But I ended up finding my passion for it in high school, and I'm glad that I did. When you're in high school, you're going to get a lot of opportunities to try out different things, and I strongly suggest that you do so. You're going to be given choices to take different electives like cooking or diversified health options. I know that sounds really weird, but that's what you'll want to take if you want to be a doctor. You can take journalism, you can take really anything you can think of. You can take business classes, you can take media classes. Try them out. You know, high school's free. You don't have to pay for it. It's going to cost you a lot if you want to test them out in college, because each of those hours costs you a lot of money. Each class is weighted by hours, so one of your classes could be 3 hours. Missouri Southern charges $160 per hour, so one class costs me $160 times 3, and you don't just take one class, so you can imagine how expensive it is. So test it out while you're in high school, because it's free. Find what you love, you know, start going with it then. In high school, you really gonna have to kick your butt in gear a little bit. If you want, you can graduate high school with a 1.0 GPA. You can get your diploma. You can make a 13 on your ACT. You can do that. You know, by all means, if that's what you want to do it. But I don't suggest it, because if you work hard in high school and you get a good GPA and you score well on your ACT, you learn those study skills that you need, you're going to be successful in college. Those of you who aren't going to try that hard in high school, it's not that difficult to get into most colleges. If you want to go to a state university, you really are going to have to kick your butt here. You know, if you want to go to Arkansas University or Missouri University, yeah, you're going to have to score really good on that ACT. You're going to have to work really hard in high school, and you're going to have to get a good GPA. Missouri Southern, Crowder, you can get in without doing that much in high school, but you're not going to be successful, and you're not, it's called retention in college, you're not going to stay. You're going to end up dropping out. You're going to end up not being successful. If you work hard in high school, you'll learn all the skills that you need to learn to be successful in college. Some things that you can do in high school, you can take AP classes, you can take college preparatory classes. They're a little more rigorous than, you know, just the basic classes that you need to graduate, but they'll help you in college. College isn't like high school or middle school. You know, they don't accept late work. They don't care if you're not going to pass their class. These teachers that you have now, they care. You know what I mean? They want to see you go to high school. And the teachers in high school, at the end of the day, they want to see you succeed and they want to see you go to college. But if you drop out, they can't do anything about it. So, I mean, they can't make you go. They can't make you work hard. It's all on your guys' shoulders once you get to high school, what you want to do with it. You get in what you put into it. You know, you get out of it what you put in. If you work hard, you're going to make a good grade. If you make a good grade, you're going to get accepted into a university. These AP and CP classes, I know you guys have probably heard about them a few times. They're really important. In my eyes, they're important because you get money for them later on. You take them for free in high school. So they're offering you these free classes. And some of you guys, if you take these classes, you're going to go into college your first year and already have 10 to 20 credited hours that you got for free. I didn't do that. So my first semester in college, I took 13 hours, and I paid, my bill for my first semester was $3,500 when I could have gotten it free in high school. So that's really important for you guys. Yep.
You said you're in a sorority. Do you live with them?
No. Sororities at bigger universities, they have Greek housing, but Missouri Southern doesn't have Greek housing. So, no, we don't live together. But, yeah.
How can you tell a college is good for you now? Like, it's college?
Well, there's a lot of different, okay, like, I picked Missouri Southern because I didn't have a college fund. You know, I didn't have a college fund set up for me, and I didn't have, you know, parents or grandparents or whatever that were able to pay for college for me. So I'm going at it alone. You know, I'm a journalism major. Mizzou is the top journalism school in the country. If I could have gone there, but it would cost me so much more money than it's costing me at Missouri Southern, and I wouldn't have been able to pay those student loans back. Something that you guys a lot of my friends don't think about. You know, they went to these big universities, and they're racking up all this student debt that they don't have to. And something, I know that a lot of you guys, I talked to one of the other classes, a lot of you guys, the first thing you say is, I just want to get out of town. You just want to leave Joplin. You've been here your whole life. You're tired of it. You want to go to a big university. That's not necessarily the best thing for you to do. You know, your family's here. Your friends are here. You have people to support you here. You have people who will help you succeed initially here. Choosing the best college for you, you know, choose what field if you already know what field you want to go into, maybe look for a school, like if you want to be a teacher, look for a school with a good education program. You know, Missouri Southern has a good education program. Why not go there? Because, you know, it's not going to cost you that much.
Excuse me, could Corey Wilson please come to the office? Corey Wilson, please come to the office.
If you want to be a doctor, UMKC has a 6-year medical program. That's great. You know what I mean? You could be a doctor in 6 years. But you got to think about how much is that going to cost you, how much. That's 6 years. If you don't have the drive to work hard enough for 6 years, then you might not pass. You know. There's a lot of different things that you guys will have to think about. Do you have anything?
I want to go to like study music.
You want to study music? Okay. Like what kind of music?
Like either bands
Okay.
or basically.
Okay. I actually have a friend who he also went here. His name's Corey. He played trumpet in the band in high school. Ended up being first.
Excuse me, I need to see Michaela Spoggy and Elizabeth Huffman in the office for a minute, please. Michaela Spoggy and Elizabeth Huffman to the office. Thank you.
If that's what you want to do, then you need to work hard. He worked so hard in high school. With that, he got a full ride to the University of Arkansas and is playing in their band and only has to have a minor in music. He has a major in like pre-med or biology or something. But if you work hard, you're going to get scholarships for where you want to go. You know, look into different universities' medical programs, or not medical, music programs. And another thing that you guys have to think about is you guys have to take generals when you're in college. You can't just go to college and say, I'm a music major, so put me in all music classes. You're still going to have to take math, you're still going to have to take science, you're still going to have to take social studies to get that degree. You can get your basics anywhere. Why not go to Crowder or Missouri Southern or somewhere small that's not going to cost you a ton of money and the classes aren't going to be as difficult and you can ease into your college experience and get those classes somewhere else and then focus on your major somewhere else.
Would you say that you were like, I don't know, things worked out better because you were closer to home?
Absolutely. Like, that was one of the best decisions that I've made because it was something that I toggled with. And I'll just tell you straight up, I probably would be at MU right now, Missouri University, because that's a really good journalism program. I probably would be there right now had I not had a boyfriend in high school. I know that sounds really silly, but my boyfriend in high school, he didn't go to college. He went to the fire academy and Fire 1 and 2, and he became a firefighter. Well, there's all these just weird rules with firefighting. If you train in Joplin, you kind of have to work in Joplin. You know what I mean? You can't really travel with that unless you retake these courses in other states. So I thought, you know, we were just going to get married one day, so I was like, oh, well, I'll just stay at Missouri Southern. Ended up, that was a good decision for me, but now that I look about it, that's kind of silly because, you know, we're not together anymore. And P.S., if you guys think you're in love right now, that's really funny. You won't be in high school either. Just saying, you won't be in high school either. So, good luck with those relationships, though. You know, kudos. But it's difficult. Missouri Southern is a good choice for me because, and I didn't really get into a lot of stuff because you guys asked questions really early, but like I said, I didn't have, you know, help going to school. I bought my own car. I pay my own car insurance. I pay for my own cell phone bill. The only thing I don't pay for is rent because I live with my parents. I have 2 jobs because I have to pay for things.
Where do you work?
I'm a life skills trainer at Easy Living, which means I take care of adults who are disabled or have special needs. I work in their homes, and then I'm also a server at Garfield's.
My grandma used to work.
Do you know Larry?
Huh?
You know a guy named Larry?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know him.
He's awesome.
He's funny.
He's amazing.
It's funny.
Wouldn't find someone to talk
But
about.
it's easy. It's better for me because I have people here to support me. Like my mom. My mom supports me, and I know that, you know, sometimes I come home from work, and I work overnight shifts too. So sometimes I'll come home in the morning at 9 o'clock, and I have to be at class in an hour, and I just want to be like, I'm done. You know what I mean? I just want to give up. I don't want to work here anymore. I want to sell my car. I want to sell my car. I want to quit school. Quit my job. I just want to lay in my bed for the next 5 years. You know what I mean? But I have people around me to support me and say, no, you can do it. You know what I mean? You can keep going. I have a friend, her name's Molly. She went here too. Her first semester, she went to Cape Girardeau in Missouri. Her first semester, halfway into her first semester, she decided she was done. She said, I'm done. I don't want to come back. I'm done with school. And she did. You know what I mean? It's hard when you leave because there's people here that are going to support you that you don't think about, you know? And it's hard. It's hard going to a new place, and it's hard to make new friends.
If you were to like take it all back, like would you, if your boyfriend didn't matter and you could like redo it all and start over, would you go to the other college instead of staying here?
Knowing what I know now, no, because I have had a wonderful, wonderful first semester at Missouri Southern.
Did you have to make new friends?
New friends? Well, since I lived in Joplin, a few of my friends did go to Missouri Southern, but I have made a lot of friends. Because I did well in high school on the newspaper, like I was the editor of the high school newspaper at Joplin, and I interned at the Globe, I was able to get, I'm the associate editor of the newspaper at Missouri Southern. So I made friends that way with the newspaper staff, and I joined a sorority. And I thought that was going to be kind of silly, just because I live in Joplin. Huh?
Like what you see on movies and stuff like that, is that what it really is?
No.
My brother started college last year and he ended up dropping out halfway through his first semester, like your friend did. And now it's like really hard for him because he lost his job because they shut down, and so like it's really hard to find another job like without the college degree.
It's really hard. And like Mr. Bigger said earlier, there's going to be jobs within the next, so you guys are going to graduate college. You go to college for 8 years. There's going to be jobs that don't exist now that are going to be available for you guys. I know it seems like, oh my gosh, that's so long. Once you get out of high school though, like you guys have this next 4 years to look forward to. In high school is where I found my passion, you know what I mean? This is where you guys are going to know what you want to do. You know, I fell in love with journalism in high school, and that's what I'm going to school for. You guys are gonna find your passion here in high school, which is something you guys need to think about, something you guys need to look forward to. Because if you don't look forward to it, then you're not gonna find it, and then you're gonna go to college and go, why am I here? Because you guys won't have a reason to be there, and then you guys are gonna drop out.
Jackie.
You guys have any more questions? Lies. See lots of questions on your papers.
Is it like a struggle to get the things you want? Like I know like when you're in high school or in middle school.
Hey, ladies and gentlemen, unless you have the floor, hush.
I know like in high school and middle school, like we don't really have to pay for anything, so we can just kind of like go out and do whatever we want and like get our nails done, stuff like that. But like, is it harder to get those things done now that you're in college?
You mean time-wise or money-wise?
Both.
Well, for me, because I have 2 jobs and I'm a full-time student, it's really hard to do stuff like that. Like, you see my hair? This doesn't get done that often because it takes a few hours, and I don't really have a few hours. Money-wise, I work 2 jobs. I work 2 jobs to pay for a lot of bills that I have.
Todd Allen, please come to the office. Todd
In
Allen,
bills, I
please come
probably
to the
have
office.
about $800 a month in bills that I have to pay for.
And you don't even pay rent, do you?
I don't pay rent. But I have a car payment, I have car insurance, I have a cell phone bill, and something else that you guys will want to do when you're 18 is you want to get a credit card. Don't have a credit card bill. That's awful. Don't do it. So I mean, yeah, it's hard. It's hard to budget yourself, but that's something that you'll learn in college. I don't know if any of you guys know people that are in college or have relatives in college, but the term broke is used a lot. You will be broke, especially if you leave. You know what I mean? Especially if you don't have that support from your parents or from somebody else, that financial support that you make do. You know, Yeah.
Not for sure if you know, but
Technology, but something, technology as in media or as in computers, media. I will tell you that the Joplin High School offers so many classes of media and technology. See, this is something that you'll be able to look forward to. Your freshman year, your next year, you're going to get to take an elective. Take multimedia 1, you know what I mean? Or take, there's so many different classes that you can take. When you talk to your counselors, guys, they're going to ask you, what are you kind of interested in? What do you think you might want to go into? I think my freshman year, I said I wanted to go into human services or human resources or something. Obviously that changed, you know what I mean? But you can take media classes, and there's a Franklin Technology Center, and that'll help you a lot.
And again, going back to what I said earlier, some of these jobs don't exist yet, so when you ask that question,
Maggie White, please come to the office. Maggie White, please come to the office.
when you ask that question, some colleges have